Hi, and welcome to Quilt Makers Lessons in Creativity Series 5. I'm your host, Jenny K. Parks. If you want to know more about me, you can check out my website, jennykquilts.com. We are using this beautiful quilt behind me, Shadow Boxes by Jennifer Thomas, as our inspiration. It has lovely clothwork fabrics, and it is available in the Quilt Makers November-December 2016 issue, so be sure to check it out. Today I'm going to talk about how to add triangles to our 4-patch that we made in the last episode, and I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do that. So here is our 4-patch, and then you can see I've added triangles to the outsides. So I'm going to show you a couple ways. There's some issues when we are adding triangles to something. The issue is, well, how do I know exactly where to line it up? How do I know, is it here, is it kind of there, what do I do? So let me show you a couple ways. The first trick that I'm going to show you is you take your triangle and you fold it in half, like that, okay? And then I'm going to take it, I'm just going to press it just a tiny bit. I'm not going to press the whole thing, I'm just going to press maybe an inch. Something so that I can see it clearly, right? You see the crease? All right. Now I'm going to line it up on my 4-patch, and that crease, you know, because we've pressed I've pressed consistently to the green here, so the green is raised up a little bit, and that crease snuggles right there onto the green one. So let me show you how those will go together and how we finish this off. All right. And now sometimes your seams underneath the 4-patch can end up going in the wrong direction. So just be aware when you're sewing that you can straighten them out if you need to as you're going along. Now I am holding my finger there and I can feel it's the bump at the green, the bump that the green makes, and I can feel that my crease is on it, so I know it's going to be perfectly centered. All right, let me press that. And I like to just press it a little bit before I start to press it in the direction I want. I think it makes the fabric and the threads more inclined to go in the direction that you're telling them to go. So there we have it. And we need to clip those 2 little parts off. But we have our triangle added on. So clip off these little dog ears. We don't need them. If you leave them on, they just end up making things really bulky, and you don't want to have to contend with that. We're going to have enough things coming together at different intersections. You don't want to have to worry about that. All right, so the other way I'm going to show you is with a little tool. I love this tool. I'm telling you, this quilt, it could be a lifesaver. This is the Fons & Porter triangle trimmer. It comes with 2 different types of triangles, but this is the one I end up using for this one, this quilt. And you line it up on that corner. And I'm just going to trim off this end. And roll it around and trim off. Make sure I got that well. Trim off the other end. Now, you can see when I line it up there that the extra parts are off. Now what I found with this, sometimes it feels like to me it's trimmed off too much. But it really, everything just works out beautifully. In fact, there's some of the triangles, the larger ones, it seems like it trims it off perfectly. This one seems like it's just a little, you see, it's just a tiny bit shy on both of those. So what I do then in that circumstance is I kind of split the difference between them. It's in the seam allowance, it's no big deal. With these small ones, it works beautifully. I can also see too, if I line up my point of the triangle there, and it's on that line too, that's one more indicator that I'm right on track. So let me sew this on here, and you can see that. Also remember, we are dealing with bias edges here, so they have a little bit of stretch. If you need to stretch it just a tiny bit, that's okay. You want to be really careful with it. You want to treat that bias edge with respect. But if you need to stretch it just a tiny bit, that's fine. I'm going to straighten out a little bit. There we go. This is also another thing that is great for chain piecing. You take all of your 9 patches and you sew up one side, and then you sew them all down then you turn them around and sew all down the other ones. All right, press that for you. You can see. So when you're dealing with triangles, you're going to have to trim one point or the other. You're going to have to either trim after you sew it or before. It's your choice. So this is a great little tool to help you with that. So I would just continue on and add the others that go around the sides to complete the center of our block. Okay, so the next episode we're going to talk about the snail's trail and different design options for the center. You are not going to want to miss it. I got some really cool stuff. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you there. This episode of Quilt Makers Lessons in Creativity is brought to you by FOF, Perfection Starts Here, and Clothworks, maker of fine designer fabrics, and the American-made brand Cotton Solids.